Alright, hello and welcome to Coy Cubed. I'm hoping this time it all connects and you guys can see me and things are going better technically. I've reconnected, I have connected. For some reason, me and Streamlabs are at odds with each other. It looks like we are connected. Aha! We've done it. Again, apologies for the slight delay. There has been around with those three fun other titles that they teased us with, but we did not know what the actual title was going to be when last we spoke, my dear Koi Pond. So we'll be diving into all of those things. Also going to be talking about Scarlet Witch, the now titled Scarlet Witch, on the WandaVision commentary stuff near the end of the show. We're going full spoilers for episode 8, but I will, as ever, warn you for those spoilers. And this week, on my weekly WandaVision watch over on IGTV, I'm having the great Emma Caulfield on my show. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, head over to Instagram at Coy-Jandreau. Friday, 10 a.m., Emma Caulfield and I talking WandaVision. She'll probably be joining at about 10:30, but I'll be diving into all sorts of the usual theories and Easter eggs and all those things. I still don't think it's the finale. I think it's the second to last episode of the series, but we won't know that until Friday. I'm very excited for this week's WandaVision, so if you guys want to chime in for the Emma craziness, I am very, very excited to have Emma on my Instagram this Friday. All of that being said, today's show is about a lot more. Let's dive into Comic-Con. Comic-Con is the cornerstone of nerd culture. Comic-Con is the foundation of all of this chaos. Has been for 50 years. We've had 50 Comic-Cons. It has only grown more and more and more. It being canceled 2 years in a row is a staggering blow to the culture of Comic-Con, to the culture of comic book adaptations and comic books themselves. I'm very curious how Comic-Con comes back, because this does give us a great opportunity to kind of reset. We've unplugged it, now we need to plug it back in. I'm really curious what Comic-Con looks like going forward. We've had the growth through the Twilight era. We've had it get so big, it's almost unsustainable. And now, 2 years of it being off, they can rebuild in a very different way. But what they're doing this year is they're having a virtual con like they did last year, but it's shorter. And then they're also having, theoretically, if all goes well, another con for 3 days in November, in person, they claim. Now, online panels are a very different animal. I have done them, I've moderated them, I've worked them. I do a lot of work with Mainframe Comic-Con, I've done SDCC, I've done WonderCon stuff, I've done digital cons. That said, it does not feel the same, and I can't imagine that will be the permanent decision. It will come back in person. I'm curious if it's going to be a hybrid going forward. I'm curious what will we get by the time the world is reopening. Will we have things that are streamed more like DC Fandom? Will we have things that are more capable to be achieved around the world? And what will that do to the price of Comic-Con? What will that do to the crazy hotel hunt of Comic-Con? What will that do to Comic-Con exclusives? There's a lot of questions that are going to change after this con was also canceled. Now, the November thing intrigues me because it looks like we're going to get 3 days of Comic-Con in November at San Diego. What's that going to be? Is it going to be creators? Is it going to be studios showing stuff off? Is it going to be things leading up to, for example, Eternals, which is also November? Is it going to be things maybe showcasing Spider-Man, which is December? What does a November Comic-Con look like? What does a 3-day Comic-Con look like? They said, as the timing and scope of our larger event factor greatly into our decision to postpone, we believe that launching a smaller in-person, which is obviously the key here, event, it's hard to read, at a later time may be a safe alternative. For this reason, we are happy to announce that San Diego Comic Convention is planning to present a 3-day in-person convention in San Diego in November. At this time, we are still working on specific details as to attendance, capacity, badge cost, and related information. These details will be forthcoming. So we are getting a Comic-Con-esque event this year in San Diego, but I have no idea what it's going to be, and I have no idea what that even looks like. But I do hope that there is some sort of hybrid for folks that can't make it. I hope we've learned from this experience. I saw DC Fandom mentioned somewhere. I do think DC Fandom was a genius event, and it allowed the world to experience something. But I think the essence of Comic-Con, the in-person, just like the movie theater, is essential. There's nothing like Hall H. even the best fandom presentation. There's nothing like being in that space. So I do think that is inevitable, and that will come back. To the live chat, thank you to Zach Woolley for the Streamlab, and it is an excellent cup of Java that makes me very, very happy. It's a bit of chaos, that Java. Pair character exaggeratedly stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee is the description of the emoji that gives me in there. I don't know if you guys remember, but we were talking about WandaVision last week, and I could not tell what was going on with the stream, and I read that description and was like, are they talking about Mephisto? Very funny, because everyone's guessing everything's Mephisto. This time I learned my lesson, and I just say thank you for the Streamlab emoji, because I cannot read the text on my phone, so I only can gather the coffee. Thank you very, very much. I don't wonder what you guys think will happen with Comic-Con. I personally will not miss it. I love that event. I've missed it a couple times over the years for conflicts of scheduling and stuff that couldn't be changed, but if I'm available, I'm at Comic-Con. It's one of my favorite weekends. It's where I see a lot of my friends that live 20 minutes away by driving 2 hours. It's funny, I see more of my LA friends in San Diego than LA just because of the way the city works. But it's certainly not safe this year, and it's certainly going to be hard to miss it another year because it's such a North Star for me. It's such a New Year's event. It's such a fascinating thing. Also, WonderCon is canceled because that would have been this month. It's March, which is crazy to think about. It would have been soon. So no WonderCon, no Comic-Con. There are some local regional cons happening. You can check your various websites. I personally wouldn't recommend them. I don't think that's safe. But you know, I will not tell you how to live your life, but it is a very interesting thing we're going through right now, not knowing what's next and not knowing when the world can resume, and Comic-Con getting canceled in July just kind of feels like bleh. So yeah, when the week of July that Comic-Con would normally be rolls around, we'll probably do a Comic-Con special and talk about all sorts of things that we're missing. Maybe I'll have some guests on that I'd usually see at Comic-Con. We'll figure that out, but it is definitely a bummer. All right. Over to the world of Supermans. Actually, let's look at the chat. I want to see what people... I love the Comic-Con experience. I want to see what people are saying about the Comic-Con. What up, Koi Pond? Fandom was way more of an exciting event than sitting around waiting for Comic-Con news, so I'd be okay if it went virtual. Personally, I hope that doesn't happen, Nolan. The actual con... I'm an in-person guy for everything. I think virtual is isolating. And I don't think that's the way. Ready Player One is not the way society's meant to exist, so I hope that doesn't become the only thing. I'd like a hybrid of fandom and in person, personally. Calm down, Rich. Coy, what's your thoughts on first look at Why the Last Man TV series footage that aired during the Globes? I only saw like a flash, so I haven't seen more than that flash. It existing means the show exists, at least to the point that it does. So I'm excited because I'm a big Why the Last Man fan, so zeal, excitement, hope. I want to see that show actually come to life. I'm going to imagine Marvel might make their own sort of con this year. The insider events are fine, but they don't feel as inclusive as fandom did. I imagine D23 and those things will have a hybrid nature, but we will see. Comic-Con, even up before COVID, stopped feeling like an exclusive event since everything gets leaked. However, I'd be open to letting them stream it live along with people going in person. That's what I think is inevitably coming. Can't wait to buy you a drink at WonderCon. Wesley, it's going to be awesome. I look forward to it, good sir. Let's see, other folks in the chat. Beepin' Goat! Beepin' Goat gave me a wonderful shout out on TikTok. I have not been on TikTok yet today to post, but I got tagged and I saw it and I really appreciate it. Beepin' Goat 22, I appreciate you very much. They keep advertising this week's episode as being the finale though. Oh, they do. But they lie. Maybe. They may lie. We'll see. We'll see. Jason Ritchie, in the future, I'd like to see Comic-Con as a live event that you can't also pay to see the panels online later. I do think a hybrid is the way we get. Okay, there's 3 seconds. Okay, I was afraid more came out and I just missed it, and I was being a horrible journalist, and I was doing a show, and I didn't see all the Why the Last Man stuff, but that is all that is available. Good, I feel better. Would have loved to have an in-person Comic-Con this year, but decided to attend one. The whole world closed down. Looking forward when it opens up. All of that being said, when the next con happens, I am planning on doing a Koi-cast or Koi Pond or some sort of panel. We're going to do something for us, our community, where I won't sneeze on you. I promise. But we'll do something for this community and have some sort of panel at Comic-Con. I'm very excited for it, so that will happen. All right, moving on from Comic-Con and that bummer of news that is the right decision to make. All right, Superman. Superman. Multiple Supermen. We got a lot of Supermans. We are getting a new Superman from Ta-Nehisi Coates, who is a genius comic book writer, who has written some incredible Captain America, who has written some of the Black Panther stuff. If you've not read Black Panther, I would say starting with Reggie Hudlin and Coates are the moves. The very, very established, very good writer is writing a Superman movie with J.J. Abrams producing. This is exciting because J.J. Abrams was to wield a Superman script a little bit ago with basically wielding a flyby origin story that never came to pass. Now we're getting a new origin, and I'm excited for the hope that it can be some of the original ideas that they wanted to do. Now, I love Henry Cavill. As you know, I am a big fan of what Henry Cavill's Superman is, what it represents. It's one of my favorite aspects of the DCEU as it was. Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Enola Holmes, a lot of the things that Henry Cavill has worked on, huge fan of. That being said, there's so much convoluted about the DCEU that I'm okay with them needing to reboot, and I think the best way to do that is to have such a different take that it's not confusing for anyone. There's no convoluted nature to it. So I think bringing on a new producer like JJ, I think bringing on a new writer like Coates, I think having a black Superman's great. I honestly think it'll be very clear that we're getting a new DC universe from this choice. Just like Robert Pattinson, you know, there's nothing alike between Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck. Their builds are different, their ages are different, they're playing very different Batmen. There's not going to be any confusion about which take this is part of which universe. That's why it's smart the Batman's not part of the Flashpoint movie, because they're going to have Flashpoint deal with Michael Keaton and theoretically maybe some Affleck stuff. Lots and lots of Bat chaos, lots and lots of Superman chaos. I think a black Superman is a great way to distinguish a new take. I think the character is a fucking alien. I got in lots of fights on Twitter this week. I think that you can easily disguise racism as being butthurt as a fan. I think it's very easy to be like, it's not that he's black, it's that blankety blank. And a lot of times, it's you not looking at your own shit. I want Sterling K. Brown to play Superman. I think Sterling K. Brown would be a genius Clark Kent and an exceptional Superman. I think the dude has the meek, naive, loving nature of Clark, and I think he has the earnest boy-scout strength and power and justice of Superman. I personally want Sterling K. Brown. There was a script tossed around 3 or 4 years ago with Michael B. Jordan attached, and I personally think Michael B. Jordan would be great because of Creed, because of, you know, Black Panther is the obvious parallel, but all of those things. But I do feel like there's a certain saturation with Michael B. Jordan that would associate certain other roles to Superman that might be detrimental. I think there is something about having an actor that hasn't been in the mainstream as much, like a Sterling K. Brown, that would allow this Superman to feel fresh. Michael B. Jordan, you're going to think of other things he's done. I argue far too often. I've taken to muting and I've taken to blocking, but a lot of people don't understand the film industry when they make these arguments. It's going to need to be someone that is somewhat established. You cannot sell a movie off of an unknown to that scale. They try all the time. Brandon Routh, the Superman with Brandon Routh did not do well because Brandon Routh wasn't a name yet. Sterling K. Brown has enough under his belt without being too established to where you're distracted. That's why he's my vote. But there's tons of incredible actors. I mean, obviously, like, there's hundreds of actors that could do this. I'm just letting you know who I think and letting you know why I think the Michael B. Jordan thing might not work out. But that being said, I'm really excited for Coates' take. I'm really excited for J.J. Abrams to produce a Superman movie after all this time. Curtis Mason. I just opened the YouTube page up, and Curtis Mason. But Idris Elba was already Black Superman in Hobbs and Shaw. He's the Black Superman. If you listen to the soundtrack to Hobbs and Shaw or watch the movie Hobbs and Shaw, there's an incredible line of dialogue from Idris Elba where he is the Black Superman, and that got a golf clap out of me, a actual belly laugh, and I appreciate you. Yes, thank you for that. Also, before he was in every movie ever, much like Michael B. Jordan, Idris Elba would have been an incredible Superman. I don't know if I would have bought him as Clark Kent, because Idris Elba is one of the coolest dudes on the planet. In fact, if you've never seen Luther, I think Luther is the best Batman show that doesn't have Batman in it ever made. And I love Pennyworth. But Luther, to me, is a weekly, villain of the week, detective, awesomely dressed, badass show with supernatural elements. It feels very Batman. If you've never seen BBC's Luther, I think Idris Elba makes a damn good Batman already. So, that being said, I'm very excited to see what this is in the near future. I think they're going to have to move this very quickly along. I think they're going to have to make a lot of quick decisions. I think it's going to be a really polarizing time. And I think just like the upcoming Falcon Winter Soldier, it's going to show a lot of people's ignorance. And I think it's going to show a lot of aggression. I think Falcon Winter Soldier is about racism, and it's a Marvel show. And there's going to be so many people that are going to be butthurt, and they won't even know why. There's so much about this country that's broken. There's so many cracks that are going to get exposed through that show, and I feel like we're going to have a very similar thing with Superman. Truth, justice, and the American way. I'm very excited to see a black man embody Superman. Now, yes, there are lots of other Kryptonians. There are black Kryptonians in canon in the comic books. I personally, and I'm a white dude, so please, if this is in any way inappropriate of me to state, I apologize, but I personally, as a straight white dude, would love to see a black person play Clark Kent Superman instead of necessarily playing a other Kryptonian, because I want the people that think that Superman can't be black to be wrong. I want the fuck you to racists. Like, I want that as part of the deal. I think that's part of the package. I think part of the reason to make Superman black is to be like, fuck you, yes, Clark Kent can be black. That's just me, and I'm sure I'll deal with those people as this movie comes out and my excitement stays this high. Time will tell. Joel Rolston, speaking of Superman, why not reintroduce Icon to the masses? It's Time Warner Brothers gives Milestone Comics center stage. Icon and Rocket could be the different views. America needs to be united. I think we should have those characters. I want Static Shock. I want the entire line of Milestone stuff to be mainstream. But I also think that there's a strength to making a lead character that is part of the cultural zeitgeist already without having to make him part of the cultural zeitgeist, a black character that has merit. So I would love these things as well, personally. But I would also like to see a line in the sand drawn. And I like that Superman is a very iconic character. So I want both, if that helps, if that answers your question. John Getz, what? How can a planet have more than one race? Show me one example of that. How could it be? What would it even look like? Seems unsafe. John Getz, as ever, I appreciate you very much, and I totally agree. Jason Ritchie, come on, everyone knows that all aliens are attractive white people. Jermaine King, I'm a black dude, and I'm just curious why just because it's a black writer, it has to be a black Superman. That's not the case necessarily. I just think that they're going that direction because that's the way they wanted to go with the Michael B. Jordan stuff. I love the fact that the writer of Blade is a woman, and it's not like she's doing a female Blade. I think we should work on the perspective of you have to be blank to do blank. I don't personally think that. Because it's really exhausting. I want a woman to direct an Avengers movie, not just Black Widow or Captain Marvel. I'm so glad a woman's directing Blade. Personally, that's my take. I'm just a dude. But I don't disagree with you. But I think in this case, it's a cool opportunity to do a different take on Superman that would be very clearly a different take on Superman. Plus, I just like pissing racists off. So my personal selfishness is the more racists suffer by losing characters, I'm happier because they should suffer because they're bad people. My take. My opinion. All right, over to Superman and Lois. We're going to live in the Superman realm. Superman and Lois has already been picked up for a second season before the second episode even aired. Superman and Lois episode 1 is so well rated and so well regarded, they got it in completely second season order. In TV, typically you get a pilot and then you get some episodes and then it goes to series. the TV landscape is changing so rapidly that now you can have a show, and this isn't unheard of, it's just rare, a show go from first episode to series and then to second season because that's how well it was received. I love that so much. I personally haven't seen it yet. There's way too much content for me to watch everything, but this is clearly a vote of confidence. I would love to have the time. When I do have the time, I'm going to check it out. I'm very excited for Taylor Hoechlin. I think he's a great Soups. I do not know the Lois's work. I know Tyler Hoechlin from other stuff. But I'm just stoked that we have so many Supermans coming. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just Batman, blah, blah, blah. But now we've got tons of Superman stuff, so I'm very excited about it. We talked about it 2 weeks ago, Supergirl is coming to Flashpoint. So we're going to have a Supergirl, we're going to have a TV Superman, we're going to have a film Superman that's brand new, we're going to have the Snyder Cut with Henry Cavill. It is a golden age of Superman content. If you're a Supes fan, it's a good time. So that is all moving and forward very, very quickly. Superman and Lois is really good, says E. Walter. Have the floating skull tentacles. Yeah, I really want Brainiac. I assume that's what we're talking about. I just saw tentacles. Bring on Brainiac, yep. John Getz, if you've never tried Mass Effect, it shows great space diversity. There's an HD remaster trilogy coming out. Unfortunately, they're very long, so it would take a lot of Patreon months. I am so bad at playing video games that I did just open Need for Speed Heat, and I had so much fun because it's just open, fun chaos. I have not played any more Last of Us because Jenny Newman has borrowed it, but I definitely love that gaming culture is coming to movies because I feel like I don't know every single character in some of the deeper mythology stuff, and then like the Sword and Sandals movies teach me that, and then I want to read it. I feel like Sonic I loved so much that I want to see more video game movies, and then I might play more video games. Like I think that will subconsciously get into my head and I'll want to do it more. So I'm stoked to hear that Mass Effect is good, and I'm excited for the Last of Us movie. I'm excited for all those things to really pull me into that world more. And I really think that Sonic was a good game changer for what video game movie standard is, because that movie was dope. All right, over to Marvel. Spider-Man and a bunch of TCA announcements happened this week. Spider-Man 3 is officially titled Spider-Man 3 No Way Home. We've had Homecoming, we've had Far From Home, now we've got No Way Home. I don't love it, but I like it, and I'm sure I'll grow to love it. No Way Home, it seems like a stretch to get to the home, but it's a fun series of movies. John Watts is making a really good time out of the Spider-Man mythos. I'm stuck in Superman mode. It is apparently Tom Holland's last contracted Spider-Man performance. He had 6, and somehow we're already there. 3 solos, 3 Avengers, which is just crazy to think about. We've had him for Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. Yes, I accidentally just referred to Civil War as Avengers. It's like Avengers 2.5. This could be the end of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I doubt it. 1, he said he'd be willing to play it for another 10 movies. I'm sure he just wants to sign the contract. 2, I think both Sony and Marvel know how much people love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. 3, I think that this iteration of Spider-Man has the legs to go on for some time. 4, I think you should bring in Miles with an already established Spider-Man. So I think have Spider-Man for a couple more times, and then you bring in Miles so you care about the death, if they go that way, of Peter Parker, or about the mentorship of Peter Parker with the Miles Morales possibilities. Now, there is a lot of fan theory about the Puerto Rico shape of the poster. The poster is all of these different titles. A lot of them were fan theories, and then it says Spider-Man No Way Home, and the shape looks like Puerto Rico. Now, Miles is half Puerto Rican, and that does seem like an Easter egg Marvel would do. It could also be fan theories gone awry. I know I'm guilty of it. I get excited, and I just like hope for shit. I'm rarely disappointed because I kind of just adjust and go like, oh, okay, it didn't work out. That being said, it would be really cool if we start planting seeds for Miles beyond the Donald Glover great name drop we had in Spider-Man Homecoming. We will see, but that is where we are with Spider-Man 3, No Way Home. I still think it's Interdimensional Sinister 6. I still think there's a 4th movie happening. I could be crazy, but we'll only know with time how crazy. We also got a release date for Loki. We are officially getting Loki on June 11th, which means 6 weeks of Falcon Winter Soldier starts on March 19th. So 2 weeks in March, 4 weeks in April, clears out April, gets us to May. We've only got a few weeks in between that ending and Loki starting off June 11th. That's very exciting stuff. Hopefully, somewhere in there we get Black Widow. Hopefully, the world is safe enough by late summer to have theaters be safe adjacent. We have theaters reopening in New York to 25% capacity. We have some states making even bolder choices. That being said, when it's safe to go to the theater, I think Black Widow would be a great way to return. Can you imagine returning to the theater safely with a Marvel movie? That'd feel great. And then I think that'll set up Loki well, because I do think there's going to be a point in these movies, honestly probably in Falcon Winter Soldier, where the Black Widow stuff ties in, and maybe in Loki, where we're going to have to get the movies to complete the puzzle of what's going on. So June 11th for Loki. We also got word from Kevin Feige that there is no other R-rated property at Marvel besides Deadpool yet. Deadpool is its own animal, it's its own genre, and Kevin Feige knows that. It's also a well-oiled machine making billions of dollars. It makes sense to not mess with that, and I love that they know that. Kevin Feige's a goddamn genius. Blade, I think, should be rated R, but we haven't seen what a PG-13 Blade is. We also don't know what an MCU Blade is. The only movie I thought other than Deadpool would be Blade. This does worry me just a little, but not enough to really worry me, because Marvel has never steered us wrong. I really think that if they use dusting instead of blood, that's how you do a PG-13. Like, he does drink blood. Blood's tricky with the MPAA, but you can make a different take on Blade without it being R. I don't think you can make a PG-13 Deadpool. I don't think it works. I think they tried. I think it was a fun time, but it's not a movie. It's a re-edit of a movie that's rated R. I don't think you can do with Deadpool what you might be able to do with Blade. Time will tell. But that is the only little kink in the armor I see right now. I would personally have loved it to be rated R, but I understand where he's coming from. I understand the difference in box office, and I understand it being a different take. All of that, time will tell. We also got a ton of other releases, like May the 4th Be With You is bringing us The Bad Batch. We've got pretty much a movie a month on hella services. We've got a movie a month on Netflix. We've got a movie a month and more on the Disney streaming, both in theater and at home. We've got tons of stuff coming out on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus is giving us... Okay, so Paramount Plus is giving us some cool stuff like Frasier. The Italian Job is getting a show. Yo MTV Raps is coming back on Paramount Plus, as well as doing a Rugrats revival that's in CG, which I'm not sure how I feel about, because I'm a very nostalgic boy, and I'm a big fan of the CGI adaptations looking 2D. The Rugrats to me are 2D as fuck, right? The Rugrats to me are a very specific voice cast and a very specific style of animation, so to hear those voices coming out of the 3D version of it freaks me out. What up, Jesse Swift? Jesse Swift in the chat. Quirky Merc. Also, I didn't see it until I was scrolling, but Amaru Moses was in here earlier. Amaru is another incredible IG player. He's no Merc, but he's great. I'm a big fan of Amaru. Amaru's good people. Jesse Swift, how you doing, man? Jesse Swift is going to be on this show one day when I get my shit together and I can have guests and be more organized with my life. We're going to do a Meet the Mercs series where we do a spotlight on the Mercs, and I'm basically going to do what I do with my comic book shopping guests, and the reason it's getting delayed until my shit's together is because I want to do it right, and I want to do full-on Barbara Walters interviews with these motherfuckers. We're gonna sit down, I'm gonna grill them, I'm gonna ask them the hard-hitting questions, maybe I'll make them cry, but they're gonna have fun crying. But no, Meet the Mercs I think is going to be fun. We're going to have all the Mercs on and basically talk about what they like about the Schmodown, what they love about fandom, what they love about movies. It's going to be great. Expect that show this spring on this very network. A breakout show, Meet the Mercs, only on Coy-Jandreau Networks. Coy-Jandreau's YouTube's Coy-Jandreau Networks. Also, my cat's here. Dinner time. I thought that'd be fun. Yes, excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Also, speaking of chaos, if you guys have just joined late, because we just had a surge and people joined the show, we are having Emma Caulfield on my Instagram show on Friday. I am very excited for the incredible Dottie to be on after this Friday's episode so we can talk about it. So there will be spoilers on this Friday's IGTV, and Emma will be joining me, so tune in. 10 a.m. Subscribe to my Instagram. I've been doing shows every single Friday, and I will continue to do shows every single Friday, even when people get mad at me for talking about politics after Falcon Winter Soldier. I won't stop. Expect lots of stuff over my Instagram. And The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau is my brand new YouTube page where I'm doing my very first edited, published, polished, produced content I've done independently. So I'm doing it with my production team. It is separate of any network. It's separate of Collider. It's separate of Screen Junkies. It's separate of Nerdist. When I've worked for those networks, they've produced my content. Otherwise, I've done self-produced stuff live with you. I've not done polished, produced content before. The Late Con with Coy-Jandreau is going to be my first polished and produced stuff, so subscribe to that. I've got so many ideas, and this is a show that I was developing at a number of places over the last 5 years, and some of these places you've heard of, and things didn't work out for one reason or another. In this case, it was the pandemic, and this was going to be somewhere else that would have been really fun, but it didn't work out. So I'm really excited to build it from the ground up, and the Late Con means a lot to me. So type in the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, and as that develops, I'll keep you guys informed as to what it's going to be. I can't reveal it just yet because I want to have it more polished. But it's my first produced content that's fully independent, so please do check it out. I'm very excited about it. All right, Paramount is also killing the theatrical window further. Back to the Paramount Plus stuff, they are doing 45-day windows for blockbusters, a la A Quiet Place and Mission Impossible 7, which doesn't feel real. It feels like a joke when I say Mission Impossible 7, but only 30-day windows for every other Paramount film. This is the beginning of a slippery slope, if not the end of a theatrical window. 30 days is some time for people to see it in theaters. All the diehards will have seen it, but I don't imagine the movie can survive day 35 after it's at home. It's going to be hard for people to get off their couch and go to the movies when they can watch it on their couch. And that's going to really change the movies. So I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights are going to be insane, maybe even more than they were before the world stopped. But with HBO, day and date, with Paramount, 30-day window, with all these things, it's really going to change how cinema goes. So this was a very, very crazy thing. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, a couple more news stories, then we're going to check that live chat. Bruce Campbell is probably in Doctor Strange 2. Bruce Campbell posted a picture of London saying, worked on that movie with that director. He tends to work with Sam Raimi, and that movie that's filming is, in fact, Doctor Strange 2. So it is fairly safe to say that Bruce Campbell is in Doctor Strange 2. It was all but assumed, so I don't feel like this is a spoiler. I wanted to say I'm excited about it. That being said, that segue is getting to a spoiler I do think is problematic. I'm not going to say the spoiler because I'm not a monster. There's a lot of Thor spoilers on the internet right now. There are paparazzi, who are some of the worst people on the planet, spying on this movie, taking away special moments and special reveals. You'll never experience a surprise if you know it's coming. That's what a surprise is. It's a surprise. I loved that I didn't know that Loki, as played by Matt Damon in Ragnarok, was coming. Now, we do know that certain actors are cast for certain reasons. It's bullshit that we know other things have been ruined because of paparazzi. I don't particularly even like the actor that is in the cameo sequence, so it wouldn't have been as big a deal to me. But the actor is very, very popular, so because of the internet and because of fucking paparazzi, that surprise is ruined for a lot of fans of this person. If you think that people don't mind, then you should look at Taika's responses to it with his visuals. He's not happy either. It sucks. We shouldn't reward it. So I, as you know, don't share paparazzi photos. I try to steer away from the rumor stuff because I don't like to give any more attention to it because that's what clicks are how this fucking thing runs. You know, clicks are the fuel to it. So I, as little as possible, share that shit. I don't give it any heat, but it sucks for that cameo to be ruined for people that are fans of that particular actor. So, I don't know, just I recommend you don't click it. I know some people don't care about spoilers. I know some people like being spoiled because they can like watch the movie differently or whatever. It's shitty, and that's how we lose. This is how we don't have nice things. I just don't want that to happen in every movie. Black Adam is beginning production in Georgia next month. April, we are getting Black Adam. And this is exciting because we're probably going to get a lot more news about people in Black Adam. There's probably going to be more paparazzi photos. We're going to have all sorts of stuff, but we are getting Black Adam starting shooting as soon as next month, and The Rock looks huge. The Rock looks amongst the biggest he's ever looked. That is saying something because he's the goddamn Rock. I'm very excited. We also got, in quick news, Dungeons & Dragons has added Sophia Lillis of It fame, who is a fantastic actress, and Hugh Grant as the villain to Dungeons & Dragons, the Chris Pine joint. Chris Pine in a D&D movie already has me in. Now you add these Titans, all about it. Hugh Grant as a villain is a good time. I'm all there. In comic book news, briefly, Tom King is doing a Supergirl movie comic. Tom King, one of my favorite writers of all time, is doing a Supergirl 8-issue series in June of this year called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. This is a really fun title because Man of Tomorrow, obviously, but I love Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I love the transition of girl to woman. I love that it's maybe like a coming-of-age story. I love that it's like a walkabout feel. I love that there's like growth just in the title alone. And it's fucking Tom King. I love Tom King, and I'm really excited to see him take on Supergirl. He did a great Superman story that was also a miniseries with Adam Kubert on art. I'm stoked for this book. It comes out in June, so we'll be checking that out very, very soon. All right, I'm going to read some chat stuff and then get into WandaVision. Also, 5 o'clock seems to be better for most of you guys because when I push the show after 4:30, we start with more views. And then usually people came in at 5, so maybe I'll just start this show at 5. So if you could, in the comments, you do the live chat too, but I might not see it. Comment, let me know that 5 works better, because it seems like a lot more of you are here at 5, which makes me happy. All right, let's see. I said hi to Jesse, Kelsey Kirkland, new patron, Kelsey Kirkland. Hello, welcome. So excited for Loki. Same. It is a shame about Morbius, but that is how they sold that character to keep that studio afloat. Michael McCarcel, I made it for the end. Welcome, Michael McCarcel. Did great, Michael McCarcel. Yes, it was Blade 1, wasn't it? All the Blades have been very rated R. Very rated R. Blade 1 had a blood rave scene. They're very R-rated, all of them. People are excited, I get angry. That's a thing. When's the real Saga stream? The next, we completed Saga. We've read all of Saga. So, that's exciting. We did the first 3 volumes, the hardcover. So when Saga comes back from hiatus, we will be back with more Saga streams. I do miss going over it, but we did the whole run, and now it's just time to wait. Curtis Mason, thank you for the warning, Coy. I will actively avoid that spoiler. I hated that Hulk was in the Ragnarok trailer. I would have preferred a surprise. I got you. Jacob, Coy, it's your boy, Hold My Brick. What up, man? I will not tell anyone your secret identity. I just said it out loud, but I won't tell anyone. Welcome, good sir. I appreciate you. Welcome. All right. Joel, this time works. It's nearly 9 here on the East Coast now. Okay, so people are vibing with this time. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to move into the WandaVision spoilers for episode 8. If you have not watched this past Friday's WandaVision, this is the time, unfortunately, to close your ears or leave, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to go immediately into spoilers. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. I just got a ton of texts from a bunch of schmoes because they're announcing stuff, and prepare for lots of schmo stuff in the next week. The dates for April are going to be crazy. You guys are going to see a lot of me because my phone won't stop blowing up. Let's get into WandaVision. That was me stalling, giving you guys a moment to get out of here. WandaVision episode 8 is full crazy. The title of this episode, to me, I always title them. Okay, good. My mom's seen it. All is well. Okay, 5 is perfect. We're doing 5 o'clock shows. 5 o'clock Coy Cubed Tuesdays. Boom. So it is. You guys are the boss, and you have spoken. All right. WandaVision episode 8. Scarlet Witch has been spoken. Scarlet Witch was handled so perfectly. The title, the moniker, the gravitas, the imagery, the inherent backstory to how it was delivered, everything about Scarlet Witch was amazing. Chaos Magic handled that well. Amazing. The beautiful imagery of the full Scarlet Witch as she is in the comic books, a screen-accurate, comic book-accurate costume. Amazing. Loved all of it. The lore and backstory implied in that line delivery is magic. Catherine Hahn adding just a little bit of ham makes the tone. 2019 Comic-Con Expo. 2019 Comic-Con Expo, Kevin Feige said the following quote that I thought was so very cool. Feige said the show would reveal a name that, quote, I'm not sure we've said in the MCU yet, but we absolutely make a big deal of it in the show, which is that Wanda is in fact the Scarlet Witch. What does that mean, that she is the Scarlet Witch? We play into that in the show in ways that are entirely fun, entirely funny, somewhat scary, and will have repercussions for the entire Phase 4 of the MCU. This changes everything going forward. He said 2019, 2 years ago, that Scarlet Witch being uttered was going to change everything. This is very exciting. I love the character of Scarlet Witch. I love seeing her respected, and I love that title has a whole new meaning. I loved the bait and switch with the cicada. I thought the cicada was Mephisto, and they literally played with it. They toyed with us with Mephisto in the episode, which was genius. This episode managed to balance cosmic, witchcraft, Avengers, backstory, Sokovia. Like, this episode was able to balance so many tones and still troll us, which was very impressive. I am overwhelmed at what this show is capable of, especially this episode. I was so good. Probability magic as a child, a latent ability, a latent mutant ability? That is the question, because both Quicksilver and she are the only ones that survived. She was the only one that could even touch the Time Stone. What is it about her that allows for that? Now, in the comic books, she's born in Sokovia, which is near a thin part of the earth that is near Chthon, which is a elder god, and that gives her certain latent abilities. In the comic book, she's a witch and a mutant and an Avenger. She's a lot of things. It's confusing. But I don't know how many of those things are going to incorporate into the MCU. So I'm very curious what that means for mutants going forward, since she did have latent abilities. What that means for any of that, since she was capable of doing it. Time will tell, but I'm excited for any of that implication. Control of tape and reality, even back then when full of Mind Stone. Oh, yeah, I think it's the first error in her memory that in the year 1999, which is when that flashback was set, the Malcolm in the Middle DVD was not available because the show didn't start until 2000, and the DVD wasn't available until 2002. I have that DVD set. My mom's in the chat right now. It is at her house where my family lives. Malcolm in the Middle on DVD, didn't come out until 2002. Shenanigans. But it's a memory we're living. So since she watched it later with Vision, I don't think it's a continuity error on the part of the MCU. I think she's remembering incorrectly, which would have put that in the box in her memory, which I think is a fun little thing about how memory is subjective and how memory can be wrong. And I think it's intentional, but that's something I did definitely notice. No Pietro at all in the memories from the Strucker area. Full-blown Scarlet Witch in all caps made me so happy. She's watching the Brady Bunch Season 1, Episode 7, in which Cindy Brady treats her doll like a real baby and it goes missing, which is what's happened to the children. They're real and they're missing. Do Wiccan and Speed survive? They have to, because they're Young Avengers. But how? How are they going to solve that problem in the next episode? And Fietro, and all the Photon stuff. This episode either needs to be 3 hours long or it's 2 episodes. We will see. Time will tell. The line that's all over the internet is an incredible line. And I also just want to say the line, I'm just going to say the line. What is grief if not love persevering? Is beautiful. It's poetry. It was delivered with such impact and received with such impact. Not only is Paul Bettany a goddamn genius, but when Lizzie is receiving or emoting outwardly, whether it's in or out, she is just one of the greats. Like, Lizzie is doing some of the finest work I've seen actors do, period, on this show. What she was able to do in this episode, she is a fucking powerhouse. But that scene, that whole sequence was just so emotionally devastating in an episode of emotionally devastating television. And to see it ridiculed on the internet is sad in a way that is kind of like permanent. Like, I hate when people suck, and I hate when there are bullies. But to ridicule art for the sake of it being popular and to ridicule something that impacted someone else is embarrassing. You're just a bad person. Like, it's not funny. It's not a joke. It's something that impacted someone. Art is anything that makes you feel, and this is great art. And that line was fucking poetry. So to make fun of it maliciously, fuck you. Like, to make fun of it, I mean, anything you make fun of anything. Like, I think comedy is all fair game. I think live your life, and I'm way less sensitive about certain comedic choices than most. I think comedy is one of the last vestiges of hopeful freedom. But to make fun of something to hurt someone that they enjoyed, fuck you. So I think that line is great. I think that people that are trashing people are the worst kind of people. So moving on from that, I just hated seeing that line get perverted into people being assholes. That being said, it's fucking poetry, and I'm glad it impacted people like it impacted me. And it was very, very, very cool. AJ Lancaster in the goddamn chat. AJ is just listening within the background. He appreciates my Brady Bunch thing. I noticed the details. I got you, AJ Lancaster. Also, this is just the brief version of my notes. You lovely should watch the Instagram. It is a deep, deep, deep dive. And this week, again, Emma Caulfield joining me on the show. Dottie yourself. I'm going to ask her all about whatever she's allowed to tell me. All right. The other emotional moment for me was the I Can't Feel You, mirroring the I Can Feel You from Infinity War. The love between Vision and Scarlet Witch is incredible, and the I Can Feel You is such a great love language line without saying I love you, and then to take that away, to see her not feel Vision was like, bleh. Also, that whole sequence being fake news with Hayward showing us altered footage with crazy edits, that was genius. I love that whole sequence. I was so impressed, just top to bottom. Also, I think that Paul Bettany might be the biggest troll in the MCU. Paul Bettany is very funny. Paul Bettany is very British. Paul Bettany is very cheeky. Paul Bettany said early February the following quote regarding the cameo. There is one character that has not been revealed, and it is very exciting. It is an actor I've longed to work with all of my life. We have some amazing scenes together, and I think the chemistry between us is extraordinary and fireworks on set. He's talking about Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany is talking about working with himself and has completely trolled us for weeks, and I'm just proud, while also, it's like the same level of trolling with the cicada. This show has done so well manipulating me that he's talking about an actor he's longed to work with his whole life. They have some amazing scenes together, and it's him. White Vision at the end of this episode is going to be fighting Vision, and it's going to be great, and it's Paul Bettany, and that motherfucker. I want to shake his hand. Next time I see Paul Bettany, I'm just going to thank him for that moment. He will have heard it hundreds of times at that point, but I need to, for me, shake his hand and thank him for fucking with us to that level. Paul Bettany. Paul goddamn Bettany. Okay, I saw a Streamlab pop in. I want to make sure I do not miss it. Jason Ritchie. Marvel really crossed the line with WandaVision Episode 8. This day and age, they should know better. They'll definitely end up getting canceled for that. How dare they whitewash Vision? Okay, one, great pacing in that, because I was like, what did they do? You set up the joke, you had an extra line of dialogue to tease me into the joke, and then the punchline, exceptional. Excellent words, Jason Ritchie. They whitewashed Vision. He is no longer a character of purple and green. He is now all white, and frankly, it does seem inappropriate. And I'm a little upset. So you're right, and I won't be watching episode 9. I'm going to call Emma. I'm going to let her know she's not on the show, and frankly, they've fucked up for the last time. Excellent joke, good sir. Excellent work. I really loved White Vision because it is a reflection of the West Coast Avengers 45 Vision, which is a really cool storyline where Vision comes back emotionless. He comes back without his memory. He comes back basically cyborg, an android, incapable of emoting. And basically, Wanda's going to have to lose Vision again. So we've lost Vision in Infinity War, we lost Vision again in Infinity War, we lost Vision in the scene in the morgue, and now she's going to lose Vision a fourth time when she realizes this Vision isn't actually hers, and then we don't know if she loses him another time, a fifth time when the dome falls, because we had Photon's clothes survive, we had the jump rope coming out of the tether survive outside the dome, but will the children? Because Vision didn't. When he was trying to break out of that dome, him being a manifestation of her magic did not work out for him. I also really enjoyed that they showed the town of Westview before she wrapped it in her chaos magic being destitute, presumably because of the Thanos snap, because that gives us another layer of her thinking she's helping, thinking she's doing the right thing, thinking she's being compassionate. They've done such a good job not villainizing grief, and they've done such a good job not villainizing trauma. This show is about coping, and it's about coping through entertainment, and we are watching it as entertainment and coping with the world. And it is one of the most insane synchronicities ever. The amount of things that had to line up to humans to exist is in the trillions. The amount of things to line up for entertainment to happen is in the hundreds of millions. Combining that is in the whatever's bigger than trillions. All of that together, the 10 years of the MCU, all of that leading to Vision and Wanda, all of that leading to long-form storytelling, all of that timing out with TV changing now, all of that timing out with Disney Plus having to reorganize their schedule because of the pandemic and Wanda being first, all of that lining up with these incredible actors doing this now while we're trapped at home coping with grief and trauma, to watch a show about it, it's just so much lined up for this. And it's really incredible. It's so impressive. So I just love what they've done, and I love what they've made. Scott Welsh, when Wanda talks about her grief being like a wave washing over her again and again, I've never connected with an Avenger more in 23 films. WandaVision was the Disney Plus show I was looking forward to most and has been everything I hoped it could be. Scott Welsh, that makes me so happy, man. I'm not gonna lie, Scarlet Witch was my number 2 after Falcon Winter Soldier because I like buddy cop stuff. And I also am really excited for the political commentary on it all. But I really, really think that this has changed my take on the characters in the comic books, which I did not expect. Like, I'm so very impressed with what they've been able to do. I realize we are now up to our second ever spammy troll situation. Let me go ahead and see if I can deal with it. I'm not used to needing to jump in the chat. All apologies, you lovelies. Okay. 1, and wait for it. 2. Okay, we should be good. But yeah, I've been really impressed with the show, and I'm so glad it was your most anticipated, and I'm so glad it's landed, because it's so hard when you expect something to be great and it's not. This show is exceeding expectations, and I'm just so impressed. I'm so glad you're happy, because it is very special. We also got another one from Joel Rolston. Joel Rolston says, what is the highest probability we see Ultron's son Grim Reaper in episode 9? Highest probability. 7%. I think the Grim Reaper moment they gave us in episode 2 in the credits was the moment we were going to get. They're not following the Vision comic book by Tom King as directly as they are the tone of the Vision comic book by Tom King, which heavily features Grim Reaper. It would be a lot of backstory in one episode, so I'm going to go 7% because I could see it happening, but it's not likely to me. Great question, and I love that you know your comics, good sir. John Getz! Us white guys are losing Superman, but we're gaining Vision. It's true. It's true. And what a weird time to be nervous about saying that. Yeah, I really am excited that racists are going to be pissed. And that's kind of my main thing about everything going on with the Superman stuff, is I'm just like, I'm really excited that this is what's gonna piss people off. I don't know. It's gonna be great. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by having to do stuff in the chat. You know what I'm gonna do? I trust John Getz. So and AJ and John, I'm gonna make you both moderators, and you guys can do what you need to do. I trust you. I'm making it so, because you guys are your patrons, and I've known you for like a year now, which is just crazy to think about. Boom, power. Okay, I'm gonna get back to WandaVision. I'm gonna wrap up the WandaVision conversation. Quote about Bettany, genius. All the Agatha Harkness stuff. It not being necromancy, but it being other things. It being basically a different kind of magic that she's used to. It's pretty crazy that they've been able to balance all of these tones, but I really like the flashback stuff to Salem, because it gave us a blue magic coming from the other witches and a purple magic that is emanating from her at all times. And then there's Wanda's chaos magic, I think, is tainting the blue magic. So I think that Agatha was seeking out chaos magic, and that tainted her magic, making it purple, because blue and red is purple. And she's never seen complete chaos magic. She's never seen such concentrated chaos magic. And it's really cool to see that is how she arrived at Westview. This is just my theory. That's what she's been seeking out. I could still see her landing the show as an anti-hero. I could still see the show ending with her being not necessarily a villain, and I really think it'll be cool to see how it lands overall. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be really fun, and I think Agatha's going to be a positive character. The young Han stuff they did in the flashback was incredible. I barely noticed the de-aging technology. That's some of the best de-aging I've seen was in the Salem stuff. Her mom's crown had vaguely Atlantean vibes, which was really cool. I really liked the Atlantean vibes that it gave, but and there is Agatha Atlantean stuff in some continuities. I know we're getting Atlantis soon. I don't think that was necessarily it. My curiosity is if once Scarlet Witch actually activates her powers all the way, is her crown like the crown of the Salem Witch? Is it going to magically form? Now, it doesn't really make sense for lighting because the light was behind her and she was above and it was a shadow, so it seems like it was tangible and we'd probably see the glow. But it'd be kind of cool if the crown was when you're like fully witch, kind of like a Super Saiyan, like you fucking powered up and you got the glow. A theory. We will see. All right. Economic impact of blip, Hayward's vision vibranium. Oh, my only thing is how is Hayward tracking Vision? Because Vision wouldn't be vibranium if she manifested him like that. If she created Vision in that way, how would that decomposing vibranium, like did she pull vibranium to create him? That's my only real question so far. I still think the bunny is a cat, even though Cicada isn't Mephisto. And the Excelsior license plate I thought was for Stan, and it still is for Stan, but I did not realize until this episode that Excelsior is the state motto of New York. Learned something this episode about the state of New York, which I've lived in before. Excelsior, I thought was a Stan Lee nod, which it was, but I didn't realize the actual... Like, I want to move to New York just so I have that fucking license plate now. Also, New York's great. All right, I'm going to quickly read some chat, and then I'm going to give you guys some comic book recs, and then we will dive into streaming recs, and then get out of here. Let me check the Streamlabs right quick. Let me refresh. I see people are excited about their power. They wield the power. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I got John, I got Joel, I got Scott. Again, Scott, that makes me very, very happy. We got Jason, Curtis. All right, I covered everybody, and thank you, as always, for the Streamlabs and Super Chats. It is how I eat, and I appreciate you all very, very much. All right, in the chat, for some reason it's not loading on my end here. Let me open up a new window, and then we will get into streaming and comic book recs. Comic books I recommend last week, incredible run. Future State Dark Detective #4, Future State Superman vs. Imperious Lex #2, Maestro War and Pax #2, Next Batman Second Son #1, Scumbag #5. If you're going to pick up 2 titles next to the incredible Department of Truth, check out Scumbag. Scumbag is from Rick Remender. Scumbag is truly crazy. It is in that same deadly class, Insanity. It seems I'm back. Okay, I saw there was a stutter of some kind. Basically, the power of Rick Remender is he looks at the world, our world, and he's able to tint the lens with depravity that makes you love these characters somehow. The Scumbag book is like the worst meth head in the worst bar you've ever been in, and you like him while hating him, and he ends up with incredible powers. He ends up with government-issued powers, and they have to use him on the mission because he's trapped with these powers. Scumbag is weird. It's like if Jesse Pinkman Season 1 landed Superman's powers through government hijinks, and there's orgies, and there's white supremacy, and there's commentaries on society and culture. It is genius. It's an incredible book. Highly recommend Scumbag as well as The Department of Truth. Those are my two big recommendations on the shelves right now. It's only on issue 5. Scumbag's on 5. Department of Truth's on 6. Also, Something is Killing the Children 15. I've loved this run the whole time. Stray Dogs #1. Imagine if Silence of the Lambs and Lady and the Tramp had a baby. It's a book about insanity from a dog's perspective. And finally, Wolverine #10. This is a great run in Wolverine. I've been very, very impressed, and I've really enjoyed what they've done with it. Yeah, it's a great run. It's a good time. All right, those are the books I recommended from last week. The books I think you should pull this week, the 3rd of March. Check out America Chavez #1, Avengers 43, Batman 106. Berserker is a new Keanu Reeves written book starring a kind of Keanu Reeves. Demon Days X-Men #1, Firepower #9, Hellions #10, King in Black titles, Captain America, Gwenom vs. Carnage, Thunderbolts 3, and Wick and Hulkling #1. Those are all King in Black books, as well as Noctera #1, a new Scott Snyder book, as well as Runaways 34, Sensational Wonder Woman #9, Suicide Squad 1, and Swamp Thing 1. Future State just ended over at DC, so now there are new #1s over at DC. So if you've been wanting to get into any DC books, now's a great jumping on point. A lot of new #1s, a lot of very approachable storytelling. Dive on in. Over in the world of streaming, and then I'm going to check the chat one last time. On Netflix, it's a new month, so there's lots of new stuff over on the streaming services. On Netflix, you got Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, now available on the Netflix, as well as Crazy Stupid Love, my personal favorite rom-com. You've also got Invictus, which I've never seen. It's a Morgan Freeman, Matt Damon, Clint Eastwood movie. And then today, tomorrow's the 3rd. Tomorrow, the 3rd of March, Moxie, a new movie from Amy Poehler, one of my friends helped write. My dear friend Dylan Meyer is a writer on Moxie, and I love her to death, so I wanted to give that movie some love. Check out Moxie with Amy Poehler. One of my friends helped it exist, so enjoy that goodness. Amazon's got 48 Hours, 50/50. If you haven't seen 50/50, man, you're missing out. Cocktail, Tom Cruise movie from the 80s, that's fantastic. Tombstone, one of the best westerns of all time. And Coming to America, the sequel, Coming to America, drops on the 5th. So this Friday, brand new Coming to America. Coming to America 1 is on Amazon. You can watch the sequel on Friday. Very excited. Hulu's also got 50/50, as well as Pretty Woman and The Social Network. And on Friday, they get one of my favorite movies from 2020. One of my favorite movies I saw last year, it was one of the last screenings I went to, was Boss Level. It is a very, very open secret that I was trying. Basically, Frank Grillo and I were going to work on something together. Frank Grillo and I had been talking for like 6 months, and it was coming together, and I was going to be promoting Boss Level on one of the shows I do at Collider, and then everything fell apart and the world stopped. So that never happened. But the movie I got to see with Joe Carnahan and Frank Grillo, Boss Level, is like Edge of Tomorrow meets Deadpool. It's insane, and it's so much fun, and Frank Grillo is a boss in it, and I highly recommend it. Check out Boss Level on Friday on Hulu. Could not rave more. Disney Plus has Raya the Last Dragon on Friday on their premium access channel section. I have not seen it yet, but I hear very good things, as well as the theoretical finale of WandaVision on Friday. And then on HBO Max, we got Adventureland, Blade, R-rated, the first one. The Lost Boys, one of the best movies ever, one of my top 20 movies of all time. The Lost Boys, it is genius. Watch that shit. And Rocky 1 through 6. If you want to get shredded for spring, you want to get your gains on before the fucking world reopens with your vaccine, you watch Rocky 1 through 6 and just train every time he does. That's what I recommend. All right, I'm going to look at the chat, and then we are going to boogie. Those are your recommendations in comic book and TV. What up, Jesse Swift? Welcome back. John Getz. It's been a few weeks now, but you got to point out One Piece has passed 1,000 chapters recently. One author for over 20 years who barely takes breaks, releasing weekly. Crazy man, but genius. Holy shit. Holy shit. I can't even fathom that. One Piece, 1,000 chapters. Okay, so shout out to One Piece. Shout out to a giant thing that seems impossibly unapproachable in that scale, and the consistency. Goddamn, thank you, John Getz, for raising that awareness, and congratulations to the author of One Piece, who is a goddamn madman. AJ Lancaster, talking to Jesse in the chat, makes me happy. My schmoes. My schmoes. Jesse, I usually do these streams for about an hour because I'm a crazy person. That's one of the reasons I'm so busy, is all of my streams are long form. They go all the way. I like hanging out with the people. All right, any other things to grab? Okay, John, I'm going to try here. Ishiro Oda. Ishiro Oda. Ishiro Oda is the author of One Piece. It is Eiichiro-Oda. That person is a goddamn madman genius, and I hope with the great Emma Caulfield, I'm very excited. I will see you very soon.